In this Roblox Beginner Series video, we are going to do leaderboard with pickups, but the most important thing, we're going to add the collection service, or I should say, I'm going to introduce the collection service so I can put the scripts on pickups on server startup. Have one script for all the pickups and then just add it when the server starts. That's pretty cool. You see the grass updated on the leaderboard. Now we'll get the stone. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Sweet. Let's go ahead and get started. So I got a fresh base plate here. There's nothing in my game. And I'm going to add a couple blocks for my pickups, right? We got some grass. And we'll make that like green. That'll be good. I just made what? Shamrock. And then for material, I think we have like a grass, leafy grass. That's it. That's pretty good. And let's make a couple of these. I'll do a Control D. Oh, you know what? You probably should make them just the way you want them first and then make duplicates, but that's all right. Let's just go ahead and select all of them. I hit Control click for that. I am going to anchor these and turn Can Collide off. Here's my Can Collide. Boom. If you just turn that off and it's not anchored, they'll fall through the ground, so don't forget that. And then we'll hit anchored. I didn't have that in the video, and I could kind of see myself popping up when I'd run over them. Let's make this into a model. Let's go ahead and right click, and I'm going to group as model. And the model I'll call lesson 5, right? Because we have that copyable game. I put the link in the description. You can copy it and load it up and get the source code if you need it. And this will be under lesson 5. Sweet. Now we want more than one type of pickup, so let's go ahead and select one of these grass things. You can see this bottom one here got highlighted. I'll do a Control D to duplicate it, or you can just make a new part, right? Drag it out. I'm going to change the name of this one to Stone. And then brick color instead of Shamrock. I think I'll make it, how about Fossil? Right? And then material. Move this up a little bit. Eh? Material. How about granite? I'll hit a G, and I'll select the G's. Go down 3, granite. Nice. And I'll do a Control D to duplicate in place because that is selected. And now we got another stone. Now we're going to tag our pickups with the tag editor so the collection service can gather up everything that's tagged a certain way. I'm going to right click here in this area over here up at the top. And then I'm going to go down to tag editor. Nice. I'm going to hit new tag. And then I'm going to add pickup. And you could have different tags for different types of pickups, but these are going to be pretty similar, right? We're just going to change the name, and we can actually get the name change with the name of the pickup. So I'm just going to use one tag. Now, if you check this box, it's tagged. My stone is selected. This is not checked. Boom, that one stone is tagged. So if we go to another one, it's not tagged. Let's get the remaining untagged pickups. I just did Control and I clicked on each of these, and then I'm going to hit pickup. And now they're all tagged. It doesn't look any different right now, but they are tagged. And then you could check them just by clicking on them too. Now, if you have lots of things tagged, like you could tag enemies and friends and stuff like that, and NPCs, pickups, anything you want, you can tag it, right? So if you have lots of them, you can't just go around clicking on things to see what belongs to what tag group. You can select your tag. Down here, I have settings for pickup, the tag name. I'm going to click that. And then you have these colors. Let's check this out. And you have icons. So this is a way to visualize lots of tags. And then I'll do worldview. Boom. It's selected as purple. I can see everything that's tagged with pickup as purple. All right, that's pretty convenient. And if you have lots of tags, you're probably going to need that. And then you can turn some off. Like if we had more than one tag, you could turn off, say, pickup, and then you'd have the other ones that you could see, or just maybe pickup that you could see if you had lots. Anyway, that's handy. You should remember that one. So let's go ahead and turn off the world view so I don't see purple stuff. There we go. And I'm going to shut down the tag editor. Now, I just want to point something out. If you are new to Roblox Studio, you will find out that it changes a lot, right? And you get some weird stuff. So let's go over here to where we got our tag editor. Let's right click. I'm going to show you some weird stuff, or at least one with the tag editor. We're going to right click, and I see 2 tag editors, right? I didn't notice that last night when I started doing the video. Let's take a look at the first one. That looks like the older tag editor. And you can import your pickup into this one, but I would just pick a tag editor. Let's take a look at the second one. Close this. That's the one I was using for the video. Go down here. Second tag editor. Boom. And that's what we use. So pick one type of tag editor and stick with it. Don't start importing stuff back and forth, or you might get some weird results. That's just how Roblox rolls. You kind of get used to it, but it can be confusing for a beginner. Well, and quite frankly, it could be confusing for an expert too. Now, I am going to add the leaderboard script to my lesson 5, right? We're going to go here, lesson 5. I'm going to hit the plus, and I'm going to put a script in there. Or you could do SCR to get a short list. There we go, script. And we're going to call this leaderboard. And I usually put my leaderboard, let's do leaderboard. I usually put my leaderboard in server script service, right down here. That's a good place to put the leaderboard, but I want to keep everything together in the lessons, and they'll work in both places. I usually put my leaderboard script in something called Game Manager in server script service. That way I don't end up having 2 leaderboards being added to players and it gets confusing. All right, let's go ahead and do our leaderboard script. We're going to do it right from here though. We're going to do it right in lesson 5. There we go. And I'll do local players. I'm going to get the players service. So that's game get service players. And then I'm going to do local function add board, right? And then this is going to add our leaderboard to our players. So I'm going to pass in a player, right? And then I want to get a variable for the leaderboard that we're going to put on our player. I'm going to create it. Oops, let's just do instance.new. And typically you use a folder or a model. Although a long time ago, you could put anything there. You could put like an int value on it, still work. But folder and model is the convention, and it might actually cause an error. Now they may have fixed that. All right, so let's get our board, and this is important right here. We're going to call this leader stats, and it's got to be spelled right, leader stats, or it won't work. We're going to check this out right after I finish the code, make sure everything is good. Now we're going to put 2 values on our leaderboard. We'll get the stone. All right, instance new, and that's going to be an int value like 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll do board. And then we're going to change the name of the stone. And this is what's going to show up on the leaderboard. So it's typically like, a capital letter or something like that. And then you could initialize the value of the stones. It's going to get a default value of 0. So if it is 0, you don't have to write that. But just to be complete, I will put an initial value. All right, I'm just going to copy that. I hit a Control-C to copy that, Control-V to paste it, and now we'll do what we were doing, stone and grass, right? And value is good, board is good, grass. And now we got to change these 2 variables here, right? Control-C, Control-V, Control-V. And let's take a look at this right here. It creates an instance of the folder and puts it on the player. So the player will be the parent. You could do a board.parent equals player, but I like to do it this way. And then here, this value goes on the board, right? The stone goes on the board. So that's the parent. Also, the grass goes on the board. So that's the parent. And I'm going to get rid of these 2 spaces we don't need. We need to call this function. How do we call it? Well, when the player enters the game, we're going to call add board. I got to scroll a little bit so you can see better. Now we have the player's service. Remember, I got that here, player service. And in the player service, we have a player added event that's fired every time a player enters the game. And we're going to connect that event to our add board. We do not have to pass the player in with add board. You just need the name. Roblox knows, so you can see that little IntelliSense there. Roblox knows to pass the player that got added, right? And I think that should work. Let's try this out. Let's see if we see a board. Let's go view, output. We don't see any big scary red errors down here in the output. And there's our stone and our grass, 0, 0. We're not going to do anything with it right now. See, I like it when I can run through it. In the demo, he was popping up over, because the can collide was off, but that's your preference, right? That's your preference. All right, let's turn this off and get back to our scripting. Now, if you're relatively new to scripting or you just don't have a lot of pickups, typically what you do is you go over to your pickup, and let's do this first, and then we'll migrate into the collection service, hit the plus, add a script, and let's call this pickup script or something. Or how about, pickup, and I'm going to call it script so we don't get things confused because we have pickup tags, pickup scripts, actual pickups, things like that. Let's go ahead and close this. And then we'll add some code to this one grass block and get it working, and then we'll improve this script. So I'm going to say local pickup equals script.parent. And then I'm going to set the pickup name, even though we already know it's going to be grass. Remember, we're going to make this script a little more flexible. So I'm going to say pickup name equals the pickup dot name. So whatever you picked here, we're going to grab that and we're going to put it in this variable. So this one will say grass. And then let's get the player service again. Are we going to need that right now? Yes, because we want to only give points to players with the leaderboard, with a leaderboard on them. So I'll say gain get service players, right? And then local function on touch, other part, like maybe a foot or something like that, local player equals the player's service, colon, get player from character. Well, if the foot hit the part, right, the other part would be the foot and the parent would be the character, right? The character is the parent of the foot. That's just the way it is. I'm going to move this a little bit more space. Sweet. Now I'll do if player, then how about player dot leader stats? Remember, we got a leader stats on our player. We put it on there. We made the parent, the player of the leader stat board, the folder, right? And now how do we get the name of, if we look over here, how do we get this name, stone or grass? Oh, they're going to match up. Let's go back to the pickup. And we can't do a dot. We have to do bracket notation. And then we're going to do our pickup name. Oh, it didn't give that to me. That's all right. I do pickup name. Sweet. And that will have a dot value. And then we'll do plus equals 1. That just means instead of just equals 1, which is assignment, you're going to take the old value and add 1 to it. So it would be the same as if we went like this. I'll do a control C, control V, plus 1. Right? That's taking the old value and adding 1. You see this in so many programming languages. It's in Python, it's in Lua, it is in C, C++. They do this instead. We're going to get rid of this, plus equals. So that's worth knowing, right? That's worth knowing. All right. And Roblox used to not do that. They fixed that within the last couple of years. When we hit our pickup, I'm going to destroy it. Destroy it. Got it. And now don't forget, we have to actually call the pickup. We have to hook up the pickup's touched event. That's what I meant to say, the on touch. So we get the touched event, connect that to on touch. Ooh, look at that. Add those 2 parentheses. That will give you an error. You got to get rid of those. Only the name of the function. All right, let's try that. Now remember, only one of these has the script, that one, right? The other ones won't do anything. This one. Boom. We got 1 grass. Cool. So if we run around on these, it's not going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. Now, what you could do, you could sit there and you could copy the script to every one of these pickups and it would work. But we don't need to do that. We have a better way. We are going to use the collection service to clone this script over and over and add it to anything tagged pickup. So I'm going to actually pull that off of the grass. And then I'm going to put it on my model. And I would typically put this in server storage in a production game and then copy it from there. But it's okay. We could do it here. We'll just put it on our model because I want to keep everything together, right? And then for server script or for pickup script, we don't want it firing until we add it to our parts, right? So I'm going to disable it. This is where the coding gets a little tricky. So if you can't get this working, just put the scripts on your part, on your pickup, and then revisit it, right? Don't let that stop you. But we can go to, let's add another script, right? Lesson 5, hit the plus, script, name it something like initialize script or initializing script, initializing pickups or something like that. I'm just going to call it initialize. Hopefully that's spelled right. Script. And then we can use the collection service to copy that script, clone it, and put it on all of our parts. I'm going to do local CS, short for collection service. You can call it what you want, though. You can spell it out if you want. Gain get service, collection service. Let's get a variable for all of our tags. We're going to collect all of our tags and put it in a table so that we can just loop through them. So I'm going to say pickup tags with an S, and I'll say CS for collection service, get tagged. That's going to get all of my tagged things that are tagged with my name, pickup, right? And I think in the demo, I called this pickup tag. So just be careful if you're cutting and pasting code. We can change it. Let's change it when we're done here. And that way they're consistent. And then you'll also know how to rename tags. It's not that hard, but let's get a pickup script, right? This one right here, this pickup script, it's disabled. We'll take our script, we'll go up to the parent, we're going to go down to the child. I'll just do a wait for child because it's just the way I do it. You could actually do parent dot and then the script name, but this is a little bit safer. It's a good habit to get into. And we're going to do our for loop to go through all of these tags. We're going to clone a script and put it on our pickup. All right. Do we have a variable for our pickup yet? I think, oh, we're good. No, we're good. We're good. If we get the tags, we're going to get the pickup. That's convenient. So I'll say if I and V in pairs, we'll do our pickup tags. And then the V will actually be the pickup, right? So that's really handy. I want to clone my script. I'll say pickup clone. And then we'll do our pickup script clone. So we're going to make a nice copy of it. We don't want to use the original, but we do have to enable it. And we also, let's put our pickup, not the script, that'll cause an error, right? We'll get our pickup clone. How about do the parent, put it on V, right? V is like the grass or the stone. And now let's enable it. Once it's on there, let's go ahead and enable it. Remember, pickup clone, that's a little bit tricky. That's the original, that's the clone. And then we'll do enabled equals true. Now, Roblox made an update not too long ago, which was actually a very good update. They made this more like Python where you don't have to do in pairs. That way, Python programmers could do this easier. You can do it this way. This way is fine, right? For I and V in pairs, or you could just get rid of that. Nice. Shall we try it out? Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and hit play. And let's look for errors, view output. I don't see any errors. And I'll go ahead and see if I can get a grass. There's a grass. Ooh, 2 grasses, 3 grasses, and then 1 stone, 2 stone. Sweet. All right, let's go ahead and close that. We'll turn this off. And just to modify our tag so you know how to do it, I want to call this pickup tag, right? Like in my initialized script right here, pickup. Let's just do a modification so we know how to rename tags, because you might run into collisions. You might be like, oh, I need to call that like stone pickup, and everything's pickup. So let's say pickup tag. I have no S here because it's going to be for the individual tag. And then we're going to get all of them and then put them in the pick tags. All right, let's open our tag editor. We got to get the right one. Oh, look at that. They're spread out on this one. Is this the right one? Do you feel lucky? Ah, it is the right one. Okay, cool. I think you can rename them on both, but I like to stick with the same one. So if we go to our grass, see that? We got that pickup. I could right click, select it, right click. Oh, nope, let's not do it that way. Oh, double click, I bet will work. Yeah, double click will work. All right. Pickup tag. Now you don't have to go through and change them all. If you change the tag, it's going to reflect the change on all of the different objects, right, in the game. See that just highlighted, it's pickup tag. So that's pretty convenient, right? It's not that hard to change the names. Let's go back to our initialize, pickup tag, try it one more time, make sure everything is good. And hit plus. Cool. I don't see any problems. Do we see any errors? Nope. Nice. Now, you can use tags for NPCs, and I will. I think I'm going to do AI NPC series, but take a look at this. If we go to home and we go to toolbox, let's take a look at the drooling zombie. And there it is. Boom. Yep, we got scripts. Now, this is Roblox product. If we open up our tag editor, they change it every time, we will see that there's some unknown tags like the zombie friend and soldier enemy. These tags aren't actually hooked up in the zombie. You could see that they were going in a certain direction with this so that the zombie would attack one thing and not the other, but they didn't complete it, or at least they haven't completed it. Well, last time I checked. But you can see, I do that in my John Wick video where I have my assassin, my AI assassin. When you hurt him, you tag that person, tags him as an enemy, and then John Wick comes after him. So we'll get more into that with our NPC playlist. I'm going to do an NPC AI playlist. All right, so that's pretty good. Hopefully you understand a little bit about tagging in the collection service and then pickups and the leaderboard, of course. I will see you in the next video.